Recording. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Antouliadis and brought to you by his awesome book, The Bible of Bodybuilding 2, over 700 pages full of everything you need to know about training, nutrition, supplementation, PEDs. Pick it up on Amazon.com. While you're on Amazon.com buying stuff, go ahead and buy my book, Real Bodybuilding. Great book. And now, all the way from Athens, Greece, please welcome, where it's past 7 o'clock at night, George Antouliadis. Dr. T, how are you, Doc?
I'm good, Ron. Thank you. So let's discuss about the recent things that happened drastically. You know, I mean, Samson said that he's rushed to the hospital. Apparently, there was nothing bad, but just dehydration.
Yeah.
And then later, Milos said something like a goodbye. That was their last dance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're going separate ways.
Yeah.
Definitely, Milos brought the best out of Samson, took him to the top 3 of the world.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have to admit this was the best Harry we've ever seen.
Yeah.
I guess this version of Harry was as ripped as Derek from the rear.
He would have beat that Derek. I think he would have won.
He would have beat because he's more ripped than Derek in the front, but they were equal from the rear this time. We have to admit that last year, Harry didn't have the super striations of Derek in the glutes,
right,
and the creases because he was fuller, he was bigger.
Yeah.
So now he dried out. He brought his best version, and he has the best maturity. And I believe that Derek has to bring a better package that includes more size because he didn't downsize now to compete again. So he has 1 full year to gain and to get ripped again. That's why I believe Derek will be bigger and bring the same definition as last year. That's the plan. When somebody doesn't compete he competes only for the Miss Olympia. That's what happened with Phil Heath every year.
Okay.
Anyway, so me, I think
Samson needs a new coach.
Yeah, I believe that Hani is occupied already. He has a top 2 of the world. Doesn't fit anybody there. Anybody because they have a perfect chemistry. There are 3 of them. And surprisingly, after what we saw the disappointment of Hadi at the Olympia, now they have excellent chemistry. Yeah. Derek with Hadi, and I mean that's what they bring out, you know. But I think that Hadi's over this. He said that I did a redemption now. I won the Arnold Classic, hands off. Okay.
Yeah.
And I believe that Hadi believes inside of him that he can beat Derek if he could turn back time with this package. Anyway, I believe now Derek has to push the gear. Push
the gear.
The pedal to the gear, you know.
Yeah.
And bring a better version of himself. But I think Chad Nichols can transform, as he transformed Ronnie Coleman and brought him to the world, and also as he transformed also Big Ramy.
Yeah, that's true.
Just need a little bit of this, you know.
Yeah, because I don't think he has time to take on another top Olympia guy. You know, he coaches as a hobby. He's not a full-time coach. It's just he's good at it. He likes it, but that's not his job. Yeah, nutrition. That's his company. That's his baby.
And several guys, as he told me, and I mean, he's very strict who he chooses. And now he has the number 1 and 2. It doesn't fit anybody there.
And he's got Chris Bumstead, the classic champ, too.
Absolutely, yeah. He has the best of the world, and I think there's going to be a vendetta now.
It'd be a great Olympia. But yeah, so for this Arnold UK that's just a few days away, his wife is going to dial him in, Marlena. She dialed him in last year for the Romania and the Prague shows, apparently.
Yeah, it's just temporary, you know.
Yeah.
And I believe Samson will compete as long as Harry doesn't compete, because I don't find any reason to conflict again, both of them. And I think Harry doesn't have any interest going back depletion and that. Well, why not to focus now for the Olympia? I mean, the Arnold Classic, the USA has the major prestige, you know.
Big money.
You know, the UK now, Samson, of course, is in his home, so he wants a title, I guess. Harry will back off. But I think, you know, I think after the disappointment, let's say, of Ramy now, the diet doc is able to make another Olympian, you know?
Mm.
You know, my message to Milos 1 month ago was the following. If politics ruin the Arnold, Harry will win. But I believe that an improved version of Samson can beat both Derek and Harry.
Yeah.
I believe, listen, frankly, Samson is not yet ready to be the best in the world. Because of the glutes, I think so, and the Christmas tree. I mean, the rest is excellent. Even he has better separation in the thigh, in the quads, and the adductors than Harry. I mean, it's perfect, like the separation, like an anatomic chart.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Chad or somebody bring that last bit, the last piece of the puzzle for Samson. He could be Mr. Olympia. He's got everything. So we'll see, because he doesn't know who he's going to pick yet. He's going to do this show, take a vacation, talk to some people, really think it over. It's not going to be an easy decision. So we're not going to find out probably for another month, I bet, who's his next coach will be.
But I think in terms of conditioning, he's to 8. He needs to go from 8 to 10, and this needs, I think, something aggressive and drastic.
Yeah, that 8's not going to get any better than 3rd at the Olympia again.
No,
maybe 4th if Nick Walker looks.
I believe because of the structure, he can beat Nick Walker because of the structure.
Yeah, well,
not because of the size. Perhaps Nick is more dense, you know, and his package is more big because of the height-weight relation. But well, he has a beautiful structure, perhaps the most beautiful at Samson. You know?
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. All right, let's get to some questions from the viewers. Guys, remember, leave your questions for next week in the comments. That's where they go, in the comments for this video, not the video from like a month ago. All right, first question is, if I'm on 200 milligrams a week of test for TRT, what would you add to that for a contest cycle?
Well, I would say stick to replacement therapy if you're hypogonadtic and you stick now. If you say you cruise with 250 for the off-season, what was the question, to compete?
Yeah, so he's on TRT. He takes 200 milligrams of test a week for his TRT prescribed.
TRT means that you are going for longevity.
Right.
I mean, this comes a bad name for TRT. Let's say you cruise with 250, but don't call it TRT and then I want to go to competition, because we doctors freak out with this perception.
Yeah. So that's blast and cruise. But
yeah,
say he's like me. Say I'm on, I'm on a little bit more. I'm on 275.
It made me sound like a TRT dose, but the idea of TRT is just follow this for the rest of your life to live longer, okay?
So I guess he wants to go beyond TRT for a contest prep cycle, and I guess he wants to be conservative and as safe as possible. What would you add to that?
For contest assures, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
You play it safe. If you want to play it safe, go for a photo shooting.
Yeah, and that's why you didn't compete.
Huh?
That's why you decided not to compete again. You didn't want to blast a bunch of stuff.
I'm going with a knife. The other guy goes with a Tommy gun. He's going to kill me. Come on.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's probably not the answer he was looking for.
If you want to compete, go back to episode number, I think it was 29 with 200,000 views.
Yeah.
The list of the year, or open up the Bible, or go to the muscle development. I don't remember the issue.
It doesn't matter. Just make them buy the book. Buy the book. Yeah. Come on, guys. Contest cycles in here. It's all laid out.
So let's start the off season for the carrying phase. What's very important is the transition from drug to drug. Yeah. But it's a whole chemistry. Come on, you need to decide how to eat, how to train, how to rest, to have the budget of this thing, to have the time to invest and rest. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, the contest cycle is not safe. You have to push the envelope. You have to, because that's what everyone else is doing. So, all right, let's move on to, hi, Doc. If we were on TRT and use enanthate, 125 milligrams per week, twice a week at around 60 milligrams, how many days is it good to inject? Because you mentioned in the previous episode that after less than 5 days, there's no point in injecting enanthate. If it's injected twice a week, it comes in 3.5 days or 3 to 4 days.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, when we want to inject twice a week, we cut a week and a half. So 3.5 days, let's say Monday morning, Thursday night.
Okay.
And yes, frankly, it's sooner than the supposed half-life of 5 days. But, well, no more than this. No sooner than this, no more than this. So let's say Monday and Thursday, or Tuesday, Friday, or Wednesday, Saturday. Okay.
Yeah.
But no more than this, because the one that accumulates goes on top of the other, right?
Mm. The fact that a week is 7 days really screws up us trying to do things twice a week with steroids. Because you're like, is it Monday, Wednesday, is it Tuesday, Thursday? It's never quite, you know what I mean? It's always like 3 days, 4 days. I do every fourth day and a little bit extra.
But that's why Connor says, let's inject every 5 days, and it's the most accurate because you go exactly when the one dose leaves the system and then comes the next.
Yeah, I do every fourth day. I like fours. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I got to do a shot today, so today's Sunday, then I'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, I'll inject again every fourth day because I'm not good at math, and that's good for me. Here's a good one. Can we use DHEA during a cycle, TRT, or in PCT? Is it good? And what milligrams?
But not during PCT because DHEA is an androgen will cut off your own production. But certainly during cycle or certainly during testosterone, Dr. Hertog, who's the best in anti-aging, says that when you use testosterone, you cut off all the cascade of the androgens. So you need to use DHEA because when you inject testosterone, you stop the production of the rest of the androgens from cholesterol. That's why you need to supplement because you disrupt the rest of the androgens. The other option is to use HEG because it stimulates also steroidogenesis. But I've been using DHEA since 2016 every day. And I've been saying to every guy who's using also testosterone to stack DHEA along for better steroid molecule synthesis. Yes, you need that. It's a very important molecule.
50 milligrams a day, DHEA?
Well, 50 the most. Well, because if you're over the half range, use 25. If you're below, use 50.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Last question is about artificial sweeteners. Do artificial sweeteners in protein shakes affect carb digestion, like consuming high GA carbs post-workout and drinking your protein shake later? Also, can they make you fat, like drinking Diet Coke during dieting? Artificial sweeteners, are they really that bad?
Yeah, so aspartame doesn't have any caloric load. Okay, that means it doesn't affect neither insulin production, neither, doesn't bring any fat storage because zero caloric load. But what it does is, I think it tricks the brain because it's so sweet, and it tricks the brain. It becomes addictive, and some people claim that they mess up their hunger when they're supposed to eat every 3 hours. I remember there was a pro in Greece, Ed Van Amsterdam from Holland. Yeah, I met him in the late 90s, and he told me, I avoid eating protein powders in the even in the off season or during dieting. Of course, he had a contract with Optimum Nutrition, but he said, avoid because they're going to mess up my plan to eat every 3 hours, and I want to eat more frequent, because he exclusively relied on solid meals. Okay. Of course, he was drinking for the sake of the advertisement, but I think the artificial sweeteners make you more hungry, and yes, they're addictive. When I drink a Diet Coke, I want more. It's not just because of the caffeine. Also, the same goes for Fanta. When I drink orange juice with aspartame, I crave for more because it's super sweet,
Yeah. Fanta orange is delicious.
Yeah.
So it makes you want to eat more when you're drinking diet sodas.
I think so. Yeah. So stay out of aspartame. Now, stevia is the best. I think it's a natural. It's a plant-based sweetener.
Yeah, stevia.
It's way better than aspartame. That is blamed. Aspartame was the first sweetener in the late 80s in the Diet Coke.
Yep.
But later, a few decades later, they found out that it's not that healthy.
Yeah, it's much stevia. I've tried it. It's not that sweet. If you're used to like Sweet and Low, or I don't know, is that aspartame? If you're used to like Equal or Sweet and Low or little packets, sucralose, it's nowhere near as sweet as those are. Yeah, well, again, it doesn't have the chemicals in it that's going to do not rotten things to your guts. So that's it. That is all the questions we have this week. So guys, questions go under here in the comments. Please, for the next show, please subscribe, like, share these videos on your platforms if you like them, so we can really get the word out, get more people watching these, get the views up, help build the channel, support the doctor, and get his book on Amazon, The Bible of Bodybuilding 2. We're very, very lucky to have Dr. Tuliatos every week here. I'm very lucky on this channel that he came with me from MD, and we're starting all over again. But luckily, we have a good fan base.
We're fine. this thing, 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
It was just after the Arnold 2018, I think so.
Wow. How many episodes we have with MD? I know you knew. Was it almost 500?
Excuse me?
How many episodes did we have? Was it 300, 200?
42, yeah.
200, yeah, it was a lot.
Right now we would keep 250.
Yeah, this is number 6 on the new one, but yeah, we can keep the number rolling. It doesn't matter. It's the same amount of videos that me and you have done together.
And, you know, our last MD was when I came back from Miami.
Oh, wow, that's right.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, little did we know. Neither one of us knew what was coming. Oof. So
I purchased my last MD when I was in the States. Huh?
You know what's funny? That issue with Ronnie Coleman is the last issue, right? I gave away 20 of those at the Olympia Expo because I didn't know it was going to be the last issue. I wish I kept those 20 issues now. They might be worth something. You know, that was the very last issue ever. So
I have 50 of them. I mean, the ones that I wrote in my office, and people are reading that, and this is something priceless, you know.
Yeah, I have buckets and buckets of them going back 20 years.
In my
yeah, I've seen that. You got quite a display. So yeah, MD was lucky to have you all those years in the column and on the videos, and I'm very lucky to have you here. So appreciate you, Doctor. Thank you so much. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching this episode of Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Antouliadis, and we will see you next time.